Good evening, everybody, and welcome along on this beautiful Saturday night. And we're back here at Tokyo Expressway for round 2 of the RaceOnOz Motorsport Australia Esports Saturday League Cup Div 2. I'm here once again joined by Savage Duck, who is, of course, our resident streaming extraordinaire. Duck, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. I wouldn't go that far as calling me that. It's a hobbyist. And I do it to help the guys out, make them feel part of the game. And thanks for having me again.
Anytime. I think we had a lot of fun last week, so this is a given to have you back, really.
Well, thanks again, and always a pleasure to be with you, Viper.
Thank you.
So, let's get stuck into this, I guess, and see what gets thrown out in front of us. We're in qualifying mode. We're about to go into qualifying.
Yeah, that's right. So in our short little practice at the moment, we're about to get set for a 10-minute qualifying session. Bit of a reduced grid tonight. We are missing a couple big names, of course. Banana Joshua Law, as he is known to the government. Missing tonight through a technical failure. Unfortunately, I think there's a fuse blown at his house. He can't get the power going, so it's a massive miss for the West Australian and Silvia Acoustics Racing as well, missing their top scoring driver from last round. And then our other name missing as well is Alex Bowen. Alex B... I don't even remember the numbers after his name actually, but Alex missing tonight, although he is only a reserve, so he was expected to miss a few rounds.
Yep, otherwise it should still be strong racing here with these guys. Will probably bring a lot of the guys in close together as well, because I wouldn't say outlier, but Banana Josh is at times a bit of an outlier. He might be, I'm lost words here, Liam, but he might be leading the charge through here. I was all prepped up and ready to do another track here, and totally forgot it was actually this track tonight. So without further ado, I'm quite ready to get stuck into watching this qualifying session.
It's great timing too. I think I'm going to kick it off. Jump out now, and yeah, another big name actually. So now that we've hit 8:05, we are starting qualifying, which means the big omission as well is our round 1 winner, Snorksel, James Shelley, who is not going to be fighting for the pole tonight.
Oh yes, I forgot about that as well. Fumbling through all my notes and so forth. We have the latecomer, Snorksel. He'll hopefully he will show up and join the race, but unfortunately he'll be plopped at the back of the grid, and he'll have to make his way up through the field, which could be we'll start a drinking game called Interesting. Every time we say interesting, someone will take a shot. I'm sure last week we used it enough that the person who was doing it probably would still be under the weather now.
It was I think it was our word of the night, which is fine. I feel like everyone has it, but it was absolutely one of those words that we were just interested in. And the worst thing now is that now that you pointed it out, I'm going to be thinking about it all night. I'm going to almost actively try not to say it and then make fun of myself when I do. You've really done me over here.
We've done each other over. Just watching it in the chat box there, we've got Snorksel's actually saying good luck for the lads. Hopefully he'll make it in time for the race start. So yeah, he's well aware of what's going on. He's putting his best effort in to get here and be part of the group.
Oh, thanks, Snorksel. Glad he's tuning in, even while he is rushing home, I assume. So hope everything is okay at home for you, or wherever you may be, and that you're back with us shortly. That everyone's okay. But let's focus on the qualifying for now, Duck, as we see here HB leading the pack onto this first lap. And a little bit different as well, this circuit. The pit lane is halfway around the track as compared to the start-finish line, and it's a little bit of a weird one to wrap your head around as a driver.
Most definitely, and people go for strategies, and those who haven't practiced during the week of the actual full race might actually suffer, because when you try and do your fuel mapping or your put in for fuel, it doesn't really allow for that extra half lap to to throw in and go through. So some people might come up a bit short. We might be able to pick them out towards the end of the race. We'll see how we go. What do you believe the kind of strategies that people might go through here, Liam?
Going to be a bit tough. So of course this week, for those who did manage to tune in last week, is a little bit different in the strategy department. So we've thrown caution to the wind and we've basically put every set of racing tyres in front of these competitors and said go wild. So they've got the option to run soft, medium or hard tonight. We're not expecting any rain whatsoever. And it's a bit of a mixed bag. I think for the most part we're going to be seeing a one-stop medium to medium, which is pretty safe, pretty standard, and still gets the job done. Although I have heard whispers of a potential aggressive strap being the medium to soft, which is a tyre murderer, might I add, or the absolutely mystical hard nose stop, which would take someone with a much lighter right foot than I have.
Yeah, it well pointed out. It'd be certainly we'll see what sort of strategies we'll be throwing out there. If there is just the custom, as you said, maybe medium, and everyone throw through that. We could see what might everyone just be all close together and be fighting out, and it'll be just like how we would say just a boxing match, I guess I'd say.
I think that's what we're hoping for, to be honest. A lot of this opening stanza of this calendar season is very much juked up for a bit of door-to-door, bit of nose-to-tail. We really want to see these guys get into each other, have some hard racing. I mean, this second round, going Tokyo back-to-back, you're already asking for it. I think everybody knows that going in, that this is going to be a bit of a physical round. A little bit shorter tonight as well. We're not going endurance racing, thank the Lord for that. Only a 45-minute round tonight, so 26 laps around this tighter, shorter Tokyo layout. I think it's just going to throw up a different style of duke out. And I, for one, I think I'm really looking forward to seeing how these guys go down the back straight on lap 1.
Well, most definitely. Yeah, just I'm following Chase here on HB. This track, yep, and being a sprint style kind of race, I can really just see it will be a lot of door banging. There'll be a lot of funneling in through the chicane there. It'll be totally different to what we had last week. And last week was a fun one to watch, even though it was a long race. To have 3 guys at the end of the race and still win it after an hour and a half, we could be looking here down all 8 fighting and duking it out. Not just strategy alone, but just sheer determination might be the winner here.
I wouldn't at all be complaining about that, really. And I think we're going to see it tonight. I think the determination for these guys is going to be second to none. As we see the HB into pit lane, he's got to be careful there. I'm pretty sure pit lane is still closed, although it may have actually been left open for this second round. I'd have to check. Nonetheless, we've seen him come out of pit exit there. I might just have a quick on scour through our regs for Saturday League and stop him doing anything silly. Duck, I might actually just get you to take the lead for a moment while I triple check that for him.
Yeah, I don't even think you need to do that, Liam. I believe they were closed. So there'd be a bit of a nerf bat on him, I believe.
Oh, it's absolutely closed. I think
yeah.
I might just send a message quickly, making sure he doesn't do a lap.
Yeah. So, now I just have to change my... These sort of bits and pieces that happen, there's always something that'll throw a curveball in the whole system and you have to try and ad-lib all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a bit of an odd one for HB as well. You wouldn't be expecting something like that, but it is the same rule and reg for everyone, and it is to try and mitigate a known glitch in GT7 where tyre grips and compound quality can actually change depending on what you're on in qualifying, which we've seen before. It's a bit of an unfortunate glitch, but we do have pit lane closed for that very reason. So I'm hoping he will be able to return to the pits before setting a better lap.
certainly seen it in other leagues where people they'll burn as much fuel as they can and then go in, get a fresh set of tyres and do a YOLO lap and really climb themselves right back up to the top of the
there we go.
Of the div. Yeah. So unfortunate for him, but he has put in a good time. It might just take. He might be able to hold second on the row anyway. So who we got going on next around? I'm actually filing through the group, and it does look like there's a batch of them all there tied in together, maybe trying to do a trolley train effect and try and help each other along, get themselves right up the top there. We've currently looking at Wiz. He is really half a second ahead of the rest of the group. He might have been practicing a lot this week. Get half a second during quali up over everyone else.
Wiz had a particularly strong night last Saturday. I thought he didn't quite get the results for how quick he was, but the pace is certainly there for the Kiwi countryman. Of course, taking it up against the Aussies. But yeah, he's just been naturally quick. He's having a really good season in Roos Sunday League currently. Currently provisional pole with only 90 seconds to go now in this session. Of course, his main rival, Snorksel, I suppose it would be for tonight, not competing for pole position, and now HB Motor unable to do so, as well as Josh Farley there in the Selby Acoustics Racing Machine, just clipping the wall, I believe it was, on the inside in Sector 1. He's currently 8th and stone cold last. That's a huge gain in Sector 1. Hopefully he can pick up a little bit of tow from his teammate Blaze up ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if Blaze would really want to give him too much tow, because it's just, he might elevate him well ahead of him. Blaze has got his own problems to worry about to make his way up the grid. Just noticed a few people picking up penalty times. Obviously through the chicane there is limits of how far you can abuse it.
Definitely. It's very tough to judge your line through that chicane, let alone the risk of putting the car on the wall, incredibly high around here. But overstepping it ever so slightly on exit will put you over the ripple strip, and in fact will earn you a cheeky little half-second penalty more often than not. So these guys do have to show a little bit of caution as they thread themselves through, as Selraff there in the wall again. And that's not going to do his times any favour. I don't actually think he's going to make the line here, so this is going to be the final lap now for Josh Farley. Whiz behind, not going to be able to set another one as well, so that's over and out for him. As we look here to Matthias, who's in the wall as well at turn 1. I feel like this is a little bit of a curse right now, trying to find someone to improve a time. There we go, Steve Goof with a 42.8, just stays in 5th position, and we'll watch Seldwin now around the final corner, see if he can improve from P4.
Rightio, I'll just riding with Seldon as well. Yeah. Oh, he's actually crossing the line and moves himself up into 2nd. So he's on the front row provincially at the moment.
A great final lap there from Seldwin, and puts another Bruce Hale Racing car on the front row. So currently a Bruce Hale Racing 1-2, which I'm sure team boss Captain Risky will be happy with. Captain Risky, of course, should have been racing in Div 1 tonight, fighting for the outright victory there, but unfortunately is battling injury and still won't be available to partake tonight. So we're wishing him well. Hopefully we can have him back shortly.
Well, hopefully he's watching this race as well. So we've got 2 divisions here, and collective points will go towards overall season team points. These points, I have to ask Liam, do these carry over into the Sunday League as well, these points?
They do not. So these
okay,
teams
so it is
points,
a separate, okay.
That's right, are purely Saturday and purely Sunday, as Halfpipe there was so close to improving on his time, just overshot the chicane slightly and stays P6. And I'm pretty sure that's all she wrote, Duck.
Okay, so I'll let you call the the positions here as I'm stumbling through my sentences. I'm not flowing as well as I should be tonight.
That's all right. Well, yeah, Wiz94
shocker.
takes pole position over Selden P2, so it's a Bruce Hale Racing 1-2, and very, very happy for those blokes there. HB Motor takes P3 as he does come out of the pits here to shorten our qualifying for us. He's allowed to do that. It is totally okay now. You just couldn't set another lap after he returned. P3 still, even after that slight penalty to him. Matthias there, the car 95, the first of the Gamesman cars in P4. Second row of the grid for him, and nothing to scoff at all. He's got team boss Steve Goof behind him, only 3/10 separating those two, and flying the flag for GRT as Snorksel scrambles to join us. Seth Stander back in P6 half-bite, of course. He is streaming his POV, so if you want to see him swearing at his rig and with a silly monitor strapped to his head, then feel free to head to his channel. Quite enjoyable, actually, watching it from a VR perspective. So we go one back here to Valimir Blaze. I'm still not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Blaze, probably the easier way to say it. P7, and definitely inching closer to the rest of these guys. P7's not a terrible effort for him. He's learning Gran Turismo very quickly and trying to get a hold of what this game has in store for him. And then rounding out the field, Josh Farley, Selraf, TK, whatever you want to call him, team boss of Selby is what I call him. And it's a tight little field, Duck, but I think these guys should produce some pretty good racing for us, and Snorksel hopefully going to tack himself onto the back of this truck.
Yep, most definitely. We'll see how far away Snorksel is if you're reaching out to him at the moment.
I'm about to shoot him a message. I would wonder almost if he's still got the stream on in the background. I'm going to hold it about 5 minutes, I'd say, probably 8:25. I'm more than comfortable waiting for. So just that extra 5 minutes. So I'll actually have to do some lobby stuff and reset it so that he can join. But other than that, it's yeah, it's looking pretty tasty, this grid. Shoot some instructions in for these guys. Let us know what the next step is.
Worries.
So there's going to be a bit of a lapse in the commentary here because, of course, we are running the room as well as commentating. So it's a bit much to juggle, trying to keep everyone entertained while adminning.
Totally forgot how to. Do I watch your stream or you have to share screen or something for me to go?
Well, you can do either or.
There.
I'm happy to share screen for you.
Yeah, that was helpful for me to commentate what you're watching.
There we go. 5 minutes to race start. No Dirks, no idea why I did that. So HB knows he's made a mistake there, and that's totally okay. There was no gain. Ah, what have I done? Okay.
Yep. Professionalism of us at the moment is a bit lapsed.
Oh no, that was right. I did the right thing. Never mind.
Okay. Oh, because you still have to wait for Snorksel to come in.
I thought I started the race, but I didn't.
Okay.
So.
No, blessing in disguise. So it's fine.
Okay. And that should actually be perfect, I think, what I've done now. There we go, lovely. Tick in before you go, gents. Should be a short wait now before we get underway. Probably still at least 5 minutes, that's okay.
I'll just do that.
Here we go, starting to get people file in, and that way I can set the lobby correctly. How's everyone's Saturdays been? They haven't been up to anything cool, interesting?
Yeah. Well, Alex is in our chat at the moment, so he's probably watching it while at work.
Is he?
Yeah, he was the first commenter.
Oh, he was, that's right, I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
I think I saw something about didn't have his iPad with him or something.
and do remote play.
That's a
Be
little bit
interesting.
psychotic if you ask me.
Well,
Too committed to the cause, mate.
yeah. He wants to be part of the group, and good on him and everyone that's coming in to join.
No, exactly right.
We'll have a few more viewers. We've got 5 viewers here, so listening to us all stumble through this, get this up and ready for them.
Don't think any of them are me either for the first time ever.
So, of those in chat who are watching, give us a wave.
Yeah, don't be shy. Come and say hello. It's always good when we get some engagement from the comments. See what you guys are thinking. See what you want to see. There's only a cute amount of 8, possibly 9 drivers tonight for this Div 2 race. So it's going to be quaint. There's going to be a fair amount of action. There'll be a lot to talk about, but we do love having a yarn.
Most definitely. I threw an invite for share screen so I can watch your point of view.
Great idea. Let me engage that for you.
Okey-doke. And I'll put that maybe up there. That might do. Okay. I'm sort of half ready here.
Yep. I've got everyone on the grid now. So Snorksel is that last one that we're just waiting for.
You got him in Discord. We do run in Discord. Those who are new to what we're doing here, we run a Discord, and might be in the bottom of your. You might put it in your description of this at the end of the race. So those who watch the replay on this might be able to join us in Discord and be part of the many races we do during the week. Aruz is growing, not just in Gran Turismo, but we are doing other things not only on PlayStation but on PC, and it's all to do with racing and good league racing in regards to well, what can I say? Public lobbies are just...
They're not the way to go.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed bag when you get them. It's always better to be able to... We're all a friendly group and we all talk to each other when we do race each other on our set nights. So generally it's more clean racing and honest racing than running into somebody out of the blue and they knock you off track or they ball past you and you never see them again. So generally no trolling driving. We're all clean and honest racers and we're all here for good racing.
Hello Blaze, he said hello to the stream. I have some big news as well. We are without Snorksel tonight, so round 1's winner is going to be missing from the grid, unfortunately.
Okay, that's not good news to hear at all.
Indeed
Would have been a bit of excitement for him to climb and claw his way through the field, because we do know he's got the legs and the racecraft to be able to craft his way through the field.
Indeed. So that's going to be the quickest 5 minutes ever. We are 1 minute until race start now, so everyone can gear up, get that anticipation going, and start shaking the nerves off.
Yep. Speaking of nerves, yeah, I'm sitting here and worrying about saying something that's off tack and then having big loaded pauses that I left you in last week.
That's fine. They're enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think they're fun. Nothing wrong with it. The important thing is that everybody's having fun, whether you be on track, off track, commentating, watching. It's all just for fun, and we want to do this for the love of the sport, love of the game, and the love of the community. And without further ado, I think it is time to kick this off. Let's kick in a quick little good luck, which I do genuinely mean. And let's get going, I think, Duck.
Let's do it. I'll let you start the call. You get the excitement up at Kid Byers level excitement?
I don't think anyone can hit Kid Byers level of excitement, but I am honoured that you think so, as we are finally kicking it off now. Round 2 of the Motorsport Australia Saturday League Cup, as we're gathered here on the grid. Very tight, technical, concrete-lined grid with 8 Nissan Silvia Group 4s on this grid. Here we go. Wiz and Seldwin off the front row. Staggered rows here, so there's not a huge gap between these guys. Look at them all. First to 8th. 5 lights on and off. We are racing now for round 2, Div 2, and it's a great start from Wiz, who leads teammate Seldwin. They're battling in the back already, side by side, heading up to turn 1 as they throw themselves through this flat out kink and try and spot the blind braking zone into turn 1. They're all going to file in. Someone running wide there in the background. I think that was Steve Goof trying to defend position from Blaze, who was getting racy straight away and through into the rhythm section, which is the first sector. Avoid the walls there as Selraf slightly out of line. There's Wiz touching the wall, and that's going to slow Wiz down. Seldwin with a bit of incentive straight away down the hill underneath the overpass. Seldwin's going to throw it straight away at his teammate. Comes at him down the inside. There's contact already between the teammates. Wiz goes wide, and there's a spin in the background. Big contact. Yep. I can't quite see it. Where are we? We
are... be able to throw that back into replay if you can quickly.
I think I've definitely got it. We'll see how that's affected us. So Matthias straight to the back of the grid, nearly 2.5 seconds back, and it's HB. I thought we saw, I think we saw the rear end of his car facing backwards at one point. So he was tagged up somewhere. There was big contact into the braking zone. We'll go back and have a look at that shortly. I did grab a marker as we head down through this straight. The BHR boys are still going at it as Wiz throws himself down the inside now. I think it's going to be setting the tone for this race, and they're into each other straight away, Duck.
Unbelievable. You will say Captain Risky would be really happy with this, but if he's watching this replay, he would be going, guys, don't do this so early. It's giving me a heart attack. It's not the ideal start for guys to punching themselves like this. It's well and good to get around cleanly, but they're fighting, and I'm just watching some sparks fly around. Already the panel beating, the local panel beaters are licking their lips with the paintwork that's getting smeared all over the concrete canyon here.
I couldn't have said it better myself, and these guys clearly haven't read the team memo, because looking at the tyre situation as well, Wiz has started on the soft tyre, Seldwin on the medium, so Wiz is going for the fast start. He just wants to disappear, and Seldwin, who's trying to go for a little bit more of a slow, consistent and steady pace, just wanted to take it straight to his teammate who started on the pole. So these guys not really talking about what's going on beforehand. As Halfpipe there throws the hammer at Steve, and not sure he's going to quite get that one done as Steve puts the power down. They're going to have a drag race now through the Tokyo Lights. Halfpipe versus Steve Goof, and I think this one's going to go for a while down the back straight, Duck.
Oh yeah, it could be a real tight one here. Goof's actually cut him off and held his position, because you don't want to get through these S's here in wrong position, otherwise you will hammer that wall. But Halfpipe's fighting him all the way through there, letting him know that he is right on his tail, having another go, going around the outside as Goof defends. Maybe we've just settled down a bit. That's good racing. This is the racing we expect to see.
What I didn't expect to see actually is these gaps forming between everyone. So Wiz, of course, on that soft tyre has cleared out. And as I say it, actually, Seldwin must have made a mistake coming into that chicane, because Steve has halved the gap to him. Only a second between these guys now. Of course, Halfbite is not very far away from Goof at all over the back of him at the moment. And then we've got a 2-second gap nearly to HB, who we do think was involved in that lap 1 incident that we might have a look at now, as we'll throw this replay back and see if we can get a better view. HB, who...
Touchy-feelies everywhere, but looks like he got tagged and turned around. Pit manoeuvre and...
Okay. Wow. Interesting. So I believe it was a pit manoeuvre, effectively, in search of a better term, by Matthias, who tried to redress immediately on the exit of the corner, in front of just about the entire field. So a little bit of clumsy driving there from John O'Clint. I think we're all going in the right direction now everyone's able to catch their breath and just go on with it.
Matthias is making his way up through the field now.
As you said it, so up to 7th place now for the West Australian, who picks one up on Selraf, and these guys now with an opportunity to work together. It's going to be the way to catch up, actually, if they can just get a bit of a bump draft going here. It's going to be the quickest way to find themselves up in a P6, up in a P5, and forward into the depths of this field.
Most definitely. I'm cycling through again. Everyone's on mediums except for Wiz. Wiz is the one that's going to try and dart out in front of everyone, and then probably he would like the idea of finishing off maybe on the on mediums with nobody around him, and maybe he figures being by himself after the pit change is the way to go, and let everyone else really fight and lose time, as we saw last week through the technical stages and the rhythm stages of the track. If you start fighting through there, you lose a lot of time.
That's right, yeah. It's a one-line area of circuit, and actually while you were going through that as well, I did see that John O'Clint has also got the soft tyre on, so caught up quite early in that incident. Not the best way to use the softer compound, but he is going to hopefully use it to his advantage as he tries to come through the field. How close was that to Blaze?
So yeah, good spot there, Liam. So he's got a lot of work to do now. He might even have to change his strategy. Is he driving into the pits? No, he's just going to try and switch back on Blaze, and touching the Armco there, using every millimetre of the track to try and get past this guy, but Blaze is doing his best to block him left, right and centre, not giving him any slipstream.
Just see as well, I think we did have Blaze into the wall, maybe last lap, the lap before. As we'll just see, they were threading themselves through here. Blaze leading Selraf, leading Matthias, and Blaze through this final corner. There was a solid crunch, he was making inroads on HB actually, but that was what stopped him. Copped a large bit of damage, and here he is now with Matthias all over him. So he's got the run now into the chicane. This is dicey. This is a little bit dangerous, but he's going to go for it. And
good manoeuvre, Jono.
Great move there. That is ballsy. As I didn't mean to press that. We're still working on the replay cameras apparently.
Yeah, but a great one by both guys. Good overtake and good awareness of the other guy behind you. So well played, other guys. And Blaze is going to throw himself straight back at him, right on the tail of Matthias. So what are you're watching the replay yet again? Okay.
Oh, and Matthias is in the wall actually. So
what happened there?
Had an incident. It's while we were in the replay. This is just some of the worst times replays you could ever imagine. But we're going to have to replay again, figure out what happened here at turn 1. It was Blaze into the back of him, I think.
That's no good. Again, there'll be questions asked on that one.
Oh, John O'Clint back to the tail end of the field again.
He's not having a good race.
Most definitely not. After coming to grips with HB very, very early on in this race, as we catch up with HB now, who has found himself right in the middle of Steve Goof and Seth Sander. So these three very close together, 3rd, 4th and 5th. You could throw a tarp over them. They're that close, and HB I think is a little bit sick of that terminology, wants to find his way in a P3 here as he sees the inside line open up for him. Steve Goof doesn't hassle him too much, he's just going to hold around the outside, but I think HB with the inside here should get it done, heading down into the chicane under the brakes, and it's a nice assertive move there from HB.
Most definitely there, Liam. It was a good manoeuvre, and he's just getting himself out of the mix here. Great driving. None of these guys know what strategy everyone else is on, so they're all making the assumption they're all on the same, and they're all just duking it out. Just watching, I always keep an eye on my mate driver Seth. He's just hanging back there. I think he's just letting them go, but do go to his web. His stream. He might actually be abusing everything and going, why did he do that? Why did he do that? And why is he doing this? And come on, Seth. could be a lot of that. But yeah, this is. Oops, Seth's going for a manoeuvre around the outside of Goof. What's happening with Goof at the moment?
Well, Goof went really defensive there down into the hairpin, and Seth sails around the outside. I'm actually not sure who made the move on that one. I think it was Seth around Goof, so that was a very tasty move there in that front-engined Group 4 car. So not the easiest to hang a move around the outside. It's very tail-happy when you really get down to it, especially on the medium tyre, which I'm pretty sure Half-Bite is still on. He is, and they've seen better days too, so we are starting to get into the realms of tyre wear, which these guys are going to have to consider as they go on.
Yeah, I'm flicking through. I've actually got it this time round where I can see everyone's tyre health, and everyone's similar, apart from the two soft starters, who are probably thinking very soon about pitting, to be quite honest. So Matthias has made his way up to 6th place, but the wear on those tyres must be a concern to him. See when the first pits actually happen, where everything will pan out. Who knows what's going to come ahead. I'm trying not to use the word interesting.
I'm trying not to think about it too much, because if I do, it's going to trip me up more than it would if I just said the word. So just rolling with it tonight, and I'm just going to let it all flow and happen as it would naturally.
Matthias has got more damage on him, front left. I missed what happened to him there. Again, must have collided with the wall.
Get a replay here. Going to replay cam with Matthias. Heading now into turn 1. He was already ahead of the two Selby boys. And I think you're right. I think there was a bit of a collision with the wall through turn 1. And he just picked it up a little bit too early. So it was actually a bit of a harsh way to pick up damage, if I do say so. It wasn't that big of a touch. And it's only just cleared itself on the exit. As sideways there was Blaze in the background. I'm not sure if he actually spun that. He did very nearly rotate it. Dropped a bunch of time there to Selraf and Jono. And that's going to be really hard to make up. He was doing so well till that point. Pace has been really, really good there from Blaze. Step up from what we saw last round.
As you said, he's just getting used to the game and the feel of the game. Great cars to probably start on as well. These are good fun cars to drive, and you just race them. You don't need to worry about any sort of oversteering or overdriving them too much. They will behave how you want them to behave, but sometimes they do come unstuck on you, but you can catch them really easy, and it just shows a guy that's only just been playing the game for a short while, he's able to catch the car fairly swiftly.
That's a great point, actually. It's a very friendly car for beginners, but importantly, not only is it good for beginners, but it's very rewarding to drive at its peak for professionals and the more advanced drivers. So we see in Div 1 those guys absolutely going at it. Hammer and tong as there, Jono into the wall again at turn 1. He's having a lot of problems in turn 1. And I think I'm going to draw your attention, Duck, to the wind heading through 1. You can actually see in the top right hand of the screen, there's a pretty solid headwind as you come through turn 1. And it's pushing him away from the apex. So everyone's got a little bit of a battle to face there. It's also got a bit of a tailwind down into the death chicane. So pretty difficult to navigate this circuit right now with the wind the way it is. And of course the tyres going off the way they are.
Yeah, so he's probably practiced it all week with wind blowing a different direction and then coming through to here, and it's just the car's just not behaving how he's used to it. Yeah, good observation there.
Well, we need to be heads up, not just going to assume that he's making mistakes for the sake of it. It is very difficult to nail laps around this joint. I mean, look at the way Wiz threading it through carefully there, and looking at the state of his front tyres. I think there's good reason for that. He is starting to fall off that cliff. He's not quite gone straight off the edge yet, but he's starting to just grasp on for life. He's looking for the rubble, he's looking for the rocks, any last bits of grip he's got, he's trying to use now as the time's falling away. That's back-to-back 43.5s. Might just have a look at what Selden's doing actually. 43.7, so he's still a little bit slower, but it's not substantial, so he's kind of keeping with him. Medium's starting to become the quicker tyre, but look at the life left on them. They've got a long way to go still in this race.
Yeah. Depending on how he's put his brake bias right to the back to hopefully save those fronts, but they are looking bad. They are bleeding, screaming out in pain.
No, they really are. It's a very tough track on front tyres. Tough as well because the rearward brake balance in this car, it's already very light over the rear axle, and you can pretty easily upset the balance of the car by sending it too far rearwards. So they've got to be careful doing that because you will make the small gain of tyre wear, but obviously if you're completely unsettled, especially heading into the hairpin or the chicane, you're really going to have a bad time. Now, I did also just see in the YouTube chat, Snorksel's finally made it home, so pretty unfortunate we weren't able to get Snorksel in for this race, but it was probably going to be a bit of a reach to keep these guys up on a Saturday night, so I don't want to do that. No, these guys have families, they've got other lives, some of them probably have work tomorrow morning, so we won't keep them up too long. Snorksel, you haven't missed a whole lot. We've got Wiz running away from Selwyn right now, starting on the soft tyre as he absolutely sent that at the chicane. Didn't expect him to hold that pace, but as Duck has said,
just collided with the wall just then. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, and surrendered a position back to Goof.
Oh, so, Seth, I didn't think he was going to be able to pull that up there. Looked like an awkward angle to be giving the space back to Goof, but he did manage to slot in.
Yeah, we're having good racing here, and it's really interesting. Let's just watch your replay again. Seth just grind against the wall and gives Goof the invitation, who he just takes it quite happily, and then a real deep in the chicane. How he managed to save that?
I don't think he meant to do that as the answer.
No, got away with it in the end.
It's a good bit of driving actually to salvage that, and only just outside a second as he scrapes the wall again. So half bite just falling out of the groove ever so slightly, and he's got to find his way back in. There is a channel to sit in when you drive at a track like Tokyo lined with concrete, and he's got to find his way back in there, get his head back into it.
That's it. Very easy to lose it, especially when there's other sorts of things there fighting you, as well as worrying about who's in front and who's behind you. Just get yourself back into the rhythm, and as soon as possible. That's the key of really racing. So don't let it get yourself upset. If the moment you get yourself upset, you'll find yourself losing a lot of time, a lot of ground.
That's pretty right. I think this is one of the few sports where mindset affects so much of what you're doing, simply because when you're driving a car at upwards of 300 kilometers an hour, or probably closer to 200 in the case of these GT4 cars, it's so easy just to get in the wrong mindset, start making bad decisions. And making bad decisions when you're wheeling around a car like this is not only just going to put you in the wrong spot physically, but obviously mentally for the rest of the race. It's so hard to recover, it's so hard to switch on, start doing those laps that you know you need to do, and salvage a race result from there. And the race result's really the end game, right? That's what everyone needs to be doing. And all these guys are just circulating around at the moment, focusing on getting that end result, which comes in 15 laps time.
Most definitely. I'm just watching as we head down into the pits for Wiz. Is he going to dive into the pits this time round? Actually, it looks like he is.
There we
Touch
go.
The yellow line. Hopefully he doesn't cop a penalty for that. We'll see.
As he comes back out, he's been able to save an okay amount of fuel, I think, considering he was going hammer and tong. As Selwyn now comes around to take the lead, he's got HB for company 2.5 seconds back, and Wiz there refueling. 8 litres per second is the refuel rate for the Saturday League Cup.
He's gone up to roughly 90%, and he's gone out on the mediums.
There we go. I think what we've seen there, that's going to be the final pit stop for Wiz, and he'll probably bring it home from here. And he's come out a fair chunk of the road ahead of Jono, and I think that's really a great reference to how Jono's night has gone. These guys are on the same strategy, separated by a few car lengths on lap 1.
Yeah, that you just have to take the good with the bad. Unfortunately for Jono, hopefully this will be his drop round. He is a rapid driver. It's just had a series of events which has really ruined it. Now he just has to make up what he can.
That's it, isn't it? And I hope his mindset, we touched on it before, but the mindset needs to stay bulletproof in situations like this. Of course, he can probably utilise the drop round, salvage a few points from this. Maybe it doesn't affect his championship results so much, but obviously not the ideal way to spend round 2 and waste a Saturday night as well. Still P6, so he's not too far off, but I think he knows deep down he should be a little bit further up this field.
Yeah, knowing Jono, he won't be too upset with himself in regards to that, and he is a seasoned campaigner. He knows what it's all about. Selwyn with a half-second penalty, I noticed, so he's not done himself any favours while leading the race here. Obviously through the depth chicane, he's overeaten it, and that'll give that might even give Hayden the first place.
It's going to be pretty close. It's only 2 seconds between these guys, so the top 2 separated by a little over 2 seconds now down this back straight. The half-second penalty, though, I'm pretty sure is served out the exit of the chicane. So I'm not sure if it's going to be quite enough road to give HB the lead, but it's certainly going to close him up, as HB now with a PB sector 2, so he's saving his best till later on in the stint, and definitely trying to put the pressure on Selwyn at the very least.
Most definitely smells blood in the water when he sees the penalty hovering above. Probably doesn't even see the penalty, but I would say when he sees the penalty serve and how close they get to each other, it's game on. Surely he'd see it now, they'd be close enough to see.
If he didn't see it before, he definitely sees it now, as Selwyn there serves that penalty down the main straight, and HB now firmly in the tow and firmly sees himself as a chance of taking P1 on lap 13 of this 26 lap race. So we're nearly halfway there, folks. We are nearly 50% of the way through this 45-minute race. We're actually a little bit ahead of schedule, so we're only 21 minutes in, and neither of these guys have taken a pit stop yet. In fact, none of the top 4 have pitted, and provisionally it is Selwyn still in the lead. I think both of those guys took a layer of paint off the right-hand side of their car heading down the hill. And Snorksel did mention in the chat as well, loving the engagement in the YouTube chat, by the way, as that's Selwyn going deep. Was that him trying to go into the pits? That looked like a really deep effort in, didn't it?
And he went straight into the pits. So...
Of course, a bit of a makeshift pit lane is this one, fashioned out of a car park, as we see all the teams and crew nestled into car park spots. The pit bay, just another car park spot, as this S15 now released from its bay and behind Wiz substantially. So he's going to have a little bit of an overcut situation going. The fresher mediums now on Selwyn, the second of the Bruce Hale racing cars. That's a 6-second gap though, Duck. I think he's going to struggle to really reel that in.
Most definitely. Also, to think about the pits here, it's a very short pit lane stint. You can be in and out within 15 seconds and get everything set. But yeah, he's probably asking a bit too much, because you'll still have to race pretty much the same as what he raced at the beginning of the thing. He's smack bang halfway through the race. What you'd want to do ideally to set yourself up to finish off is have a lot more up in reserve to fight somebody that you want to get past. So he now, Selwyn, has to maintain his momentum of what he's got and try not to run into any more mishaps.
Yeah, that's right. I think Selwyn should be able to do that. He's a very clean, very consistent driver when he's in clear air. We've seen some pretty good times from him in the past, so I think Selwyn's going to be able to just slowly chip away at this one. Like I mentioned, not sure P1 is in the talking for him, but I think a Bruce Hale Racing 1-2 is just slowly cooking. So watch this space come the end of the event, as we see now John O'Clint, who has also taken his pit stop on the same lap as Selwyn, gone from soft to mediums halfway through the race. So he's splitting softs and mediums halfway down. Now, I think that puts a little bit of an emphasis on just how good that first soft stint was durability wise for John O'Clint.
Most definitely, made it all the way through on softs and still putting through good times, even though he's collecting the wall a lot. So maybe with a set of mediums now, he might be able to absolutely churn his way up through the field. They might even get a podium. Or am I just asking too much?
I think that is going to be a bit too much. I'm just trying to see how everything's shaking out right now. Seth Sander taking his pit stop most recently of anyone in the field, coming out on a set of medium tyres as well. So he's just playing it safe. I think that's going to be the flavour of the night, is playing it safe. It's a track where things go wrong so quickly. I'm not sure they want to get on a set of softs that can shred themselves before they see the checkered flag.
No, you'd want at least 8 laps to go before you'd think about that. As we remember last week, those softs only lasted on slightly longer track, isn't it, by chance? But they only lasted like 5 to 8 laps, and then they just turned into chewing gum.
It's pretty reflective of chewing gum, to be honest. It doesn't last that much longer, to be honest, that medium, but the durability, if you treat them right, is very impressive. So Halfbite clearly seeing the advantage in that, and going to be running the second half of that race with the medium compound. Just avert our eyes to the front now as HB continuing on his 15th lap, and got to start thinking about what tyre these guys are going to go on for their second stop. I think for HB now, you've got to surely assume he's going to put on the soft for the second half.
One would think. Like I said, my thought would be 8. If you got 8 laps up your sleeve, and then go onto your softs, and then there's your Hail Mary for the rest of the race. Put in a little bit of extra fuel to over rev the thing if you really need to put more power down into the ground. I don't know if he's quite ready for softs yet. Probably just, like you said, medium right at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, it's
going to be fascinating strategy for him, how he goes. Just watch this space.
I think he'd managed the soft, to be honest. We did see John O'Clint last 13 laps on soft, and that was after a few mistakes, a couple of battles, and a heavier tank of fuel. So HB would be able to fuel up slightly less in the second half of this race, and probably look after the softs a little bit better. I'm going to go on the whim that he could probably do it, and that might be what he needs to chase down Wiz as well. So, yeah, like you said, watch this space. HB could be our man to watch in the second half.
Chat from Alex in the chat said he managed to do 10 laps on softs, but they were pretty much gone. Had to go the length. So, yep, Snorks was even agreeing that his softs last 12-ish laps. It all depends on how people drive as well. If you're a smooth driver, obviously you don't chew through the tyres as much, but if you go eyes rolled back and overdrive and try and slide the car around the corner to try and eke out that extra little half-second point, 1 of a second, you can really turn them into just red mist.
We've seen it before too. Of course, people going a little bit too gung-ho early on, and the tyre certainly pays for it. It's a hard way to go out when you know you've got pace, and the strategy just doesn't quite follow. And looking at Steve Goof's times, actually, that is some unbelievable consistency there from Steve. I mean, since lap 8, it has just been nothing but 44s. I mean, every single lap of his is actually within a 6.5 tenth window. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 laps so far, all within that window. And that's straight as well. So that is in a single stint consecutively. So that is impressive stuff from Steve. As he's down the main straight here, just going to see what time he does across the timing line this time by. Would be very impressive to see another 44 in that window. And it's still a 44, it's a little bit slower, so 7.5 tenths will open that gap up to. But that is some unreal consistency, putting in some great times to hold P2 down.
Yeah, doing very well. Maybe just without the dirty air, dare we say dirty air, or just without the fighting around him, he's got himself into a rhythm. And he's not as aggressive on the fuel as well, as we're watching Hayden go into the pits.
Here we go.
So we'll see what he changes to.
Leader in pit lane, HB brings it in, medium tyres starting to scream, and I think I would put a fair amount of money on there being a soft tyre going under this S15. There's less than 10 laps to go. I think it'd be a little bit silly not to come out on softs, and there they are.
Goof the same.
Goof the same.
So we'd expect Goof would be on softs as well as he comes out. That he is. So see how this goes out. So he might be able to reel in Selden and might be able to get his foot onto that podium.
Yeah, a hell of a result for Steve Goof, who I think was just a little bit stuck in the middle for the first stanza of this race. We weren't quite sure where he was going to pan out, but I think now we know he's not going to be any worse than 4th, so this is going very well for Steve Goof. We'll just have a quick run through from the top, have a look at how we're going strategy wise. It's Wiz still with a 6-second gap at the top to HB Motor. And there is a pace disparity there, so HB on the fresh soft tyre with only a half tank of fuel. He's going to be chasing down Wiz. Of course, the two Kiwis at the top trying to fight each other. And I think we were talking about it last round. We didn't want this to be happening, a Kiwi 1-2, but it could be what we're left with as Selwyn in the background there, with the penalty. I think you saw that in the background when I did. And he's clearly just taking a few too many liberties there in that chicane. He's got to just button it down a little bit, take it from 9 to 8, potentially even a 7, because that Steve Goof gap, although Steve is on a fresh soft, that is a big gap to try and reel in. And he'd have to be catching him by a second a lap. So we'll see how Steve goes on that mission of his. It's only a short throw back to Selraf, who is now, he's got some pretty worn mediums underneath him. So there's going to be one hell of a soft send for him later in the race. I think he must be in this lap, maybe the one after. And then it's a very short gap back to Seth Sander half bite on a fresh medium. So I think he's going to be a little bit alone towards the end of this race as well. Blaze in P7, who's got tail lights all up in his rear view mirror, and I think he is going to come in this lap as well.
He's going to have to. It looks like he is. As Matthias takes 7th place away from him.
And into the car park garage he comes. So this is the first of the Selby pit stops actually, so we haven't seen a Selby car under the lights yet. And if I do say so myself, I think it's probably the best looking car on the grid. Although I shouldn't give myself too many tickets.
As you used to be the Selby team captain and handed this over to the current driver that we're watching now.
Actually, it would be this driver here that we're watching, Mr. Selraf, who's actually just scraping the wall and the back end of the circuit. So Selraf indeed did inherit the Selby Acoustics Racing Team captaincy, doing a fantastic job with it already. I think I held on to it for best part of a few years. It was a while, but yeah, relinquished the role. Selraf stepping up, doing an awesome job. One thing I still did do, of course, is develop the livery for these guys. We did move livery development, I suppose, the creation of our team liveries on to a couple key guys in the community. So I held on to the Selby Acoustics Racing liveries. Captain Risky was creating the Bruce Howell Racing liveries, as we see behind. And we might just pause the livery tour because these guys are going to go side by side through the first sector, half bite, trying to get the job done on Selraf, who I think is still walking wounded with his tyres, and he gets it done. So that was very aggressive by half bite. Didn't want to wait an extra second because I think we're going to see Selraf peel in here, although he's
trying to fight back, isn't he? Is he aware of how well his tyres are, or is he... Oh, he's low on fuel too. Probably he'll definitely have to come in next lap. He's running on fumes.
Yeah, well, he's not got that many laps to go either, so I'm a little bit confused about why he hasn't come in yet. He's not going to make it to the end of the race on this fuel tank, and this tyre's seen better days. He's doing 46s, Duck, so the pace isn't comparative. He's just dropping time at the moment. And there's no reason not to be on a soft tyre, or at least a newer medium right now. I'm a little bit confused of what Selraf's doing here.
It maybe just got caught up in the action and totally forgot. It's very easy to do sometimes when everything's happening around, and then, oh, I've got no fuel left. Not sure what his plan is here. He gotta have to pit. There's just nowhere near enough fuel left in the reserve to make it any further.
He's made it this extra lap, which I didn't think he would anyway, so he's only got the half lap now to complete before he can bring it into pit lane. We'll just keep an eye on the leaderboard to see when Selraf comes in, as we'll pan now to the top. Keep an eye on that gap. That is crumbling, Duck. That is 3.7 seconds now between Wiz and HB. Tell you what,
HB just posted a fastest lap as well, so he's got his mind set on latching onto Wiz and getting on top of the podium here. He believes he's got enough time left to do it. I think it's half a second a lap and then getting around him, so it's sort of doable maybe. Wiz is not known to do big mistakes, so this could be Wiz's race.
42.593, like you said, from HB. That's the sort of times he needs to be doing. That is taking out nearly a second every lap from Wiz. That's more or less what he needs. He's going to be on the back of him sooner rather than later. I think the only thing is we are running out of time. We're 35 minutes completed now in this race. Is Wiz there, running wide in the chicane? Is there a penalty to come from that? That was pretty wide through there. I'd almost expect it to pop on the other side of this corner. I think he gets away with it. That could be a bit of a saving grace. But even since we've been watching these two, that gap has dropped from 3.7 to 3.1 and still dropping. So this is going to be close very soon.
Yeah, just watching Bruce there, he's scraping the wall. He is absolutely pushing this car to the limit. He sees the target ahead and he's not going to give up on it. And again rubs himself against the wall. He is absolutely pummeling this car, using every millimetre of this track to hunt down Wiz. So might be lucky as far as Kiwis dominating the top here that could take each other out, and somebody else does a Stephen Bradbury. One could only wish.
I'm not going to say one could wish, although, like I say, if it was an Australian to pick up the pieces, I'm not sure I'd complain all that much. Although, I think if we do look back to P3, I'm not sure Selwyn's actually a born and bred Aussie. From the talks I've had with him, I think he could actually have some, what's the phrase I'm looking for here? Some allegiances to another country, perhaps? Is that the...
Okay, we'll just leave it at that before we start getting hammered on other sorts of problems. We're all here about racing. We're not here about winning or losing wars.
I don't think I was even going to mention that, but that's all right.
I should not have ever brought up the Kiwi anecdotes. They do seem to dominate our Australian racing leagues.
I'm a little bit sick of that. I'm pretty chuffed actually that the Red Bull guys are doing what they're doing. It's bringing it back to Australia for a title. Although that's getting political at that point, and we don't want to get political. We do, however, want to watch these times as they tumble. And it's a 42.2 now for HB. He is stripping time out of Wiz. And I think it's a matter of when now.
Nervous too, eh?
Definitely a matter of when and not if for Wiz. He would be watching in his rear view. I think nervous is an interesting way to put it. Is he nervous or is he keen for the battle? Because Wiz has been alone this entire race. Last time we saw anyone, he was actually looking at his teammate as he put him in a wall on lap 1.
We got another fastest lap by Hayden, so he is really reeling him in. He's got his target set. He's got nothing else to worry about. Don't need to worry about the tyres, don't need to worry about the fuel. He is just worried about that guy in front of him.
Unfortunately, that's all he needs to worry about. There's only one guy he needs to pass now to grab this victory, and to grab P1, of course, in round 2, and that would be a pretty nice title to take into round 3. Of course, High Speed Ring coming up next, another track in Japan, and another one that's surely going to offer up more racing like this. And these guys just closing in lap on lap. We'll quickly have a look backward. Selwyn all on his lonesome in P3 still. Steve Goof is making use of those soft tyres. It's taken 3 seconds out of our current P3 man. Not sure he's quite going to do it fast enough though. As we see here, Half Bite still P5 with Matthias P6. You know what, I'm almost wondering, Duck, as I think about Matthias' strategy now, he managed to take those soft tyres 13 laps while starting on a full tank of fuel. Is there any reason why he didn't take soft tyres for the second half of the race?
Yeah, always, 20/20 hindsight, but I don't think he was happy with the way the soft tyres were behaving. But don't forget, he was collecting the wall a lot as well. With the awkward headwind that he was having, you're picking up. Maybe he just wanted those mediums, those fresh mediums might have made the difference to him.
Yeah, that's a fair assumption. He is going with some pretty good times so far as well. PB that time by 43.5 for John O'Clint, so he is taking time out of what he was doing before. It's roughly the same pace that Wiz is on, in fact, so it's certainly nothing wrong with the pace of John O'Clint. He may even be taking time out of this man here, Halfbite, which he is actually. So there's another battle forecast here between Bruce Hale Racing and the Gamesman Racing team for P5. So there's a top 5 finish on the line here, and we'll keep our eyes on that one.
Yeah, just last lap, lap 22 by Hayden. He lost 2 seconds. He must have groped himself in the wall, or maybe. I was watching the whole time. Nothing untowards. Maybe just lost some rhythm somewhere. So the gap's gone back up to 2.5 seconds. However, just looking at these two front runners, I'm looking at their tyre difference. Actually, the same. Earlier on, it was Wiz was having more aged tyres, but they're now just evened up. And Hayden also had the lighter load, so I was thinking, oh, that's why this is going to really climb in. But it looks like he's eased off a bit now. Oh no, still tell a lie. He is still eking away, but I think he's running out of bitumen now to be able to make an impact on Wiz. So
in the wall there, bottom of the screen.
Not going to make not going to help his cause any at all. Going through here, he's probably lost more seconds. No, 1.8. No, it's still climbing in, but going back to the top of my sentence, top of my paragraph, it's just he's running out of track, running out of time, I think.
These soft tyres still giving him the overall lap time, so HB still taking time out of him, but the laps are running out. We've only got a little over 2 laps to go now in this Div 2, round Tokyo Expressway, south clockwise for round 2. We're at the shorter, more technical version of the Big Brother that we're at round 1. Death Chicane, of course, the talking point tonight, how these guys have navigated it.
Just got around Seth.
And you're right.
Sorry
there.
to interrupt, but yeah, just I was flicking through and big move around Seth and taking 5th position away from Seth Sander.
That's right, so P5 there, all taken up by John O'Clint. I think there's a younger tyre underneath the Gamesman car. Not sure we're going to see him relinquish that 5th back to Halfbite. So I think we're going to focus in now on this battle between 1st and 2nd. This is where it's at, and I'm sure this is where Snorksel wanted to be as well if he was able to make this race. He did just say in the comments as well that 44, only a lap ago from HB, could cost him dearly. That was a good part of 2 seconds slower than what he should be doing. The gap right now, Duck, is less than 2 seconds between these guys. Yeah,
he would have been right on his tail now for the last 2 laps, and that's where he would rather have been than...
Oh, in the wall again.
That wall, he's going to have to go down and sign his name on that wall down there. He's hit it twice in 2 laps.
He can still do it. Ugh. The car is underneath him still. He can still reel this in. All he really needs is that second. If he can catch a second before this point right here on the next lap, he is still in with a shot of winning this race. He's still got the tyre life advantage. We'll flick back to him. There's a little bit less rubber now underneath HB's car, but the pace is still there. The exit was there. He's still taking time out of Wiz. The car's lighter too. He's got less fuel in it. And I think he wants it more, to be honest. We've seen him throw himself at Wiz over the second half of this race. He was taken out early by John O'Clint. I'm sure he'll be ruining his mistakes. He'll be ruining what happened on lap 1. He'll be hating the thought of not being up front in this race right now. And Wiz right now is loving it and hoping, just praying that he can hang on for this one more lap.
He should do. If I know Wiz well, he's not the easiest guy to get around either. Cool customer, he's been with this before.
He sends it! HB straight over, and he's probably thrown it away. That's gone. He wanted to find all the time as a bloody hit the wrong replay marker once again. But it doesn't matter because we're not going to miss a battle. It was HB sending it over the curbs. And we might see if we can get that on board here as he comes now into this corner before. And we'll watch just how deep he goes. Oh, it's a send. Straight over the curbs, and he was never going to pull that up in time. Nearly drops it as well. Great save.
Yep, there was a lot of trouble there. He got the car too unbalanced, and yeah, it just no grip whatsoever. It decided to go where it wanted to go, not where he wanted it to go.
Well, it's the white flag going up then for HB. 4 seconds now Wiz has over the privateer Kiwi. And it's another Kiwi at the top, Wiz94. Ian Cannon, as he's known to his friends and family. Although I think it's so much easier just to call him Wiz, of course. The second of the number 26 drivers in Ruse, the first of which, Andrew Lee. And there's some good omens, I think, around holding on to the number 26. Andrew Lee, one of the quickest drivers in Australia, let alone the world. And I think a little bit of that magic 26 touch is just slowly starting to creep its way down to Wiz. Tell you what, Ducky dominated Sunday League last weekend. It was a triple win for him, which was potentially the first one ever for Wiz in Div 2. It was just
really
domination to the highest degree. He couldn't be passed around Brands Hatch, and you know what? Tonight around Tokyo, he couldn't be passed. It was pole position. It's not quite the fastest lap, so we're not going to call it a Grand Slam, but it is going to be victory for Wiz94, who navigates the chicane one last time, round the final corner, and here he comes, repping the Bruce Hale Racing colours, and he is going to be a very, very happy Kiwi. Wiz94 takes the win in round 2 for the Motorsport Australia Saturday League Cup Div 2, and that is a fantastically well-run race for Wiz, as HB concedes the battle in P3. Selwyn, HB in P2, I beg your pardon. Selwyn takes P3 for the last step of the podium. Steve Goof comes across to rep it for Gamesman Racing Team in P4, as we see John O'Clint, what could have been for him, so quick tonight, and misfortune at every corner for John O'Clint, who comes across to round out the top 5, swallowed up half bite in the closing stages, who grabs P6 before our Selby Racing duo, who had a very, very tough night without the leading light of Banana Josh to bring them home.
Yep, that's just finish off the last stages of the race, close it off. Still fair effort. That early mishaps that we had, that obviously your team will look at during the week, see exactly what happened. I do believe that there was a redress that happened, but there were so many people that got involved in that. And who knows, these guys would have been up in, maybe not the pointy end, but would have been there in amongst it, probably still duking it out as they crossed the line to finish the race.
Run and won, and we have 2 races and 2 winners, as we see there. Wiz repping the Rothmans Boss Men's Fashion livery. I wonder if that's a Williams livery. Pole position, clean race, and the victory for Wiz94. Massive congratulations to him, and I think that's the perfect way to bounce back after what was, to be honest, a lackluster performance in round 1.
Good win by him. Good 1-2 by Selby. That's going to go well into the for the points. Captain Risky will be happy after that. His with his earlier heart and mouth sort of thing when they were duking it out with each other. It's a good result for Bruce Hale Racing, as they always seem to be up there at the pointy end in the last few seasons.
They're a very well-drilled team. Of course, Captain Risky at the helm, not able to run with us tonight, but I'm sure he'll be incredibly happy with his driver, Wiz, taking out the win in Div 2. Just running through your order one more time before we disappear for tonight. Wiz94 with the victory from HB, who didn't make it easy towards the end. Did manage to grab the fastest lap, although there isn't a point for fastest lap in this series. It has been clarified. We are not handing out points this season. So no extra point for HB there. It's just the extra point for pole that Wiz will grab. As we move on, Selwyn P3, second of the Bruce Hale cars, with Steve P4 and Gamesman second car in P5. John O'Clint there, P5. P6 for Halfbite, the third of the Bruce Hale Racing cars. The only team to field 3 cars tonight after a couple of absences. Selraf, team captain for Selby Coast Racing in P7, and Valimir Blaze coming home in P8. And I think if there's a silver lining for tonight with the few numbers we had, I think it's that we still managed to have an incredibly close finish, Duck.
Most definitely. It was a good, entertaining race to watch. And what will be entertaining will be to see the standings are after just 2 rounds. I think it'll be all mixed up, because without Josh racing and Snorksall Racing, I reckon a few of the guys which missed out last week, they'll be up in the front as well. It'll be very close, I think, in the charts.
There's certainly going to be some shake-ups. Snorksel, of course, missing tonight. We'll be back in action next week at High Speed Ring, I hope, as well as Joshua Law. So 2 more of our front runners hopefully making it back up next round. There is, of course, a drop round per leg. So both Snorksel and Josh Law taking that drop round straight away. And are going to hope for some big point scores in the next rounds to come. Of course, we do hand out a champion of Leg 1 and a champion of Leg 2 before we go into our playoff format. So there's a lot to think about and a lot to do, but of course it's only round 2. I think it will be HB Motor who inherits the championship lead after a pretty impressive performance in round 1, but Wiz now snapping at his heels as we've got a couple other guys we're going to be bringing it up close. Seldman, Steve and John O'Clint all going to be pretty close. Even Halfbite will be right there. So it's going to be pretty close, Duck. And I think that's a conversation for next week when we actually get to High Speed Ring.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait to see how this all pans out at next week at High Speed Ring. Weather involved as well, possibly. How many laps we got there?
Good question. I think there's going to be a little bit of admin work through the week just to determine how many laps we go through for there. So I'm trying to keep it fresh and not do too much, burn myself out. So I will determine that some point during the week, potentially even tomorrow night if I find the time. But yeah, we'll get some details for everyone through the week. I think for now, time to sign off. Time to get some much needed rest after an exciting race. Thank you very much, Duck, for joining me once again. And I'd love to have you next weekend if you're available. This has been awesome.
It's great fun being with you, and I'd like to see you next week, Liam.
Let's call it a date, shall we?
Thanks for inviting me. Yep.
Wonderful.
Hooroo.
All right, thank you everybody, of course, for tuning in. Alex, Snorksel, there were other people that I saw in the chat as well. Apologies if I don't shout you out. Blaze as well actually did acknowledge the chat, so if you're watching, mate, thank you very, very much. Of course, loving the support, loving those who watch the Div 1 stream as well. Congratulations to Prima GTR, who did take out the top spot in Div 1, making it 4 races and 4 winners across both divisions. That's a cool stat. But for now, it is going to be a very warm good night. And thank you for watching. See you next time.